My name is Trey Broomfield. I am from El Paso, Texas. Ascendancy of Perception is a ongoing body of work that I started on in early 2019. Ascendancy of Perception examines the often unnoticed role our media diet plays in our personal development and social identity. Every day we are bombarded with information provided to us primarily through the form of television or social media. Major news networks, social media entities, and us, the consumer, all curate and finely tune shared information that often supports a predetermined narrative or reinforces confirmation bias, thus creating limited and sometimes misled perspectives amongst the consumer. In my experience, we tend to consume this information and never really give it any thought to how it shapes our mind on a subconscious level, which as a result alters the way we view reality. I refer to this as blind consumption. I believe it can have detrimental effects on the human mind by creating feelings of anxiety, depression, and limited perspectives on things such as race and cultural understanding.
Live from the USA, another black boy was born today. Dropped in his role from God up against all odds from his firstborn day. Plenty of smiles, he was born to play till the education board took his soul away, not knowing the TV controlled what the owners say. Doomed to pursuing faith in one candidate, consumed by the media landscape, confused by what path to take, looking into a pond for answers beyond an online database. Too many sources to validate, right-click, copy-paste, clickbait, provided by a conglomerate. His hands shake, he might break. Easy to see the road of monochrome, little is known, especially opinions of his own. Pockets full of stone, group thinks so he don't feel alone. Victim of remote control in his own home. Aches from their carpal tunnel syndrome, provided by his phone, not hearing the clock's metronome. Headaches for no breaks, his time wastes, he might break. Lost in the maze with the days from the haze, slaving to pay for a place to stay. Food and water on the same plate, juggling his mental state while trying to get his stake in this rat race. Uncle Sam never lends a hand, so damn for his fam's sake. The future seems so opaque for black and browns in the United States. Know they get the shortest take. It's not hard to articulate what the people say, hoping someday it will change, but until then, he remains a pawn in the game. Correction, a slave with no chain, collecting spare change. Life in the USA, is this his fate? He might be.
Growing up as an African American in the United States, my sense of ancestral history and identity has always felt less tangible due to the limited scope of representation in the context of the United States history. Because of this, hip-hop, being that it is heavily intertwined with the African American experience, became something I heavily gravitated to growing up. It felt like a connection to the history and culture that I had not received access to in traditional forms of media. With that in mind, I can honestly say there's an apparent disconnect between what mainstream media promotes as the whole of hip-hop culture / African American culture, but in actuality only makes up a small aspect of it. I believe we live in a time where a lot of people, particularly the youth, are seeking direction in what I call the age of information overload. It's easy just to go with the flow and accept everything at face value and ultimately as truth, but in reality, developing a sense of direction comes from within. I depict this in the image B, which is the largest image in Ascendancy of Perception that sits at 36 by 48 inches and is paired with audio of white noise. While working on Ascendancy of Perception, I became more aware of the power of language. I have been digging deeper into understanding how the language we use affects our day-to-day lives. With that in mind, I have been exploring linguistic-based arts, such as poetry, and I have also been looking into things such as sound design and have been looking for new ways to incorporate that into my artist practice.